Hi, and welcome to the Diary of a Content Creator, the podcast where we dive deep into the journeys of creators from all corners of the digital world. I'm Tristan Creswell, and each week I'll be your guide as we explore the ups, downs, and everything in between in the life of a content creator. From YouTube sensations to budding artists and innovative podcasters, we'll uncover their stories, strategies, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Whether you're an aspiring creator to simply curious about the creative process, there's something here for everyone. Join me as we peel back the layers of creativity, inspiration, and hard work that go into making content, get ready to learn, be inspired, and perhaps find the motivation you need to start or elevate your own creative journey. So, grab your headphones and let's dive into today's episode of Diary of a Content Creator. Cool. We'll kick off then. Hi everyone, welcome back to Diary of a Content Creator. You're with me, Tristan Creswell, and we've got our new guest, BlanKai. BlanKai, from what I've done in terms of research and stuff, has done YouTube for about a year now. He previously had another channel, or he might have gone by another OT's name as JJ Super DX. BlanKai, from what I've seen, you've done like a mixture of stuff ranging from Geometry Dash to Minecraft Lo-Fi playlists, and then your most recent video is doing Storytopia, and you also seem to do like a nice mixture of Roblox stuff as well. Welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Just woke up like an hour ago and I got a really good stretch in, so I'm doing great.
Nice. That's good to hear. So just to try and get my head around, so from what I've done in terms of researching your channel and stuff like that, you've been doing YouTube for about a year, but it looks like you had a previous channel. Is that right?
Not really. I was kind of just playing around. Wasn't really much of a channel.
Okay, fair enough. No, it was just interesting to try and look because I was, like I said, doing some research and stuff like that, trying to work out what you're interested in and some of your videos previously and all that sort of stuff. So just to get an idea of what you do, so you seem to be a predominantly like a let's play gaming channel.
Pretty much.
So what sort of stuff do you do on that channel? Like, what are some of the topics and what are some of the games that you play majoritively on that channel?
Well, there's a lot of Roblox because I think most of my viewers like it. I was trying to go for Minecraft because I'm a Minecraft type of guy, but everyone likes Roblox, so I play a lot of Roblox on there. Every now and then I like to spice it up with something random.
Okay, so
See if it's it.
no, that's fair. So what can you? And this is just me being completely unaware, and it's for people who don't know anything about the category or like the game itself. What sort of stuff can you do into Roblox, and why do you think your viewers like it?
Well, I'm not exactly sure why they like it. I'm not too much of a Roblox guy myself, but it's typically, I think most of it on my own has been RPGs and simulators. But when it comes to YouTube, it's mostly horror games and popular games that people like Doors, for example.
Okay, what's Doors out of curiosity?
Doors is a Roblox game where pretty much there's a lobby as it starts off. You can hop in with friends or solo, and when you get in, it's kind of hard to explain like the surroundings, but you're just in an area and there's a door in front of you. Grab the key, go through the door as you would think. And as you go through, you can encounter some events and some entities that can try to get you, but it's relatively straightforward. You go through doors and try not to die. I haven't gotten too far because I'm not the best.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. It's like a 50-50 kind of like guess your way through like a certain amount of levels.
Yeah, pretty much from what I've seen.
Okay, and then I also seen that you seem to be doing some Blade and Sorcery on VR. How's that?
Yeah, love that game. It's I still have the sandbox version. I know on PC VR they have the full version out, but the sandbox isn't bad. It's kind of just me messing around.
Okay, fair enough. Your Minecraft area, because that's where you kind of, from what I saw and from research and stuff like that, that's where you seem to have started off. You started off with like Minecraft Lo-Fi and stuff like that.
Yeah, wasn't too sure what I was doing there, so I just slapped some nice music in the background and started playing.
Okay, fair enough. So initially, when you started off your YouTube channel, what was your kind of goal? What made you want to get into YouTube holistically?
Honestly, I just saw that I gained a lot and I wanted to share it with people. I didn't think it would do good at all. I really thought I would just have like 2-3 viewers, probably my friends. That was really it. I wasn't expecting much.
Okay, and then how did you kind of get into like the production side of things? So I can see there's like you've got some streams going on, you've got some like long/medium format videos, you've got some clips, and you've also got some YouTube shorts. Let us know your process from like idea, recording, working it all the way through. How do you do that sort of stuff?
So usually it kind of starts off with just a game I want to play. And when I have that game, I figure out what I want to do with it. If it's a stream, I usually just grab the game, maybe a friend or two, and just see where it takes me. But if it's a video, I try to have some sort of idea what I'm doing, and I try to go off of that. If I go off course, I usually edit it out. Unless it's funny, and then I keep it in because who doesn't like a good laugh? And after recording, I typically end up procrastinating for like 3 days, and then I get to editing it, which I cut out the boring stuff where it's kind of just silence, try to add some nice transitions in there, and then after watching it all the way through, I post it.
Okay, and then from after you post it, do you then cut that up into shorts, or how do you kind of manage the short side of things?
Well, if there's a part of the video that like actually seems like the best part, like if there's hard to say, but like if there's a point in the video where it just seems like that right there is the golden moment, then I
Mhm.
usually make it as a short so that people see that. And if they really like that, then they'll watch the full video, getting me more viewers.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. So, how do you kind of change that? Because obviously, when you look for a video, how do you kind of edit it and kind of know what you're looking for, and how do you kind of find that moment that you go, right, this is the moment I can turn to a short?
Kind of hard, pretty kind of complicated. Most of it goes on subconsciously. It's usually like if I find a moment where I'm really laughing at it myself, which is not very common, then I'll do it. Or if I find that my friends like that moment, I'll post it. But most of my shorts just end up being clips from me playing by myself without recording, since there's not too many moments like that in recording.
Okay, no, that makes sense. And then how do you deal with the streaming aspect? Because obviously, some people seem to do streams and then they then record it. Some people do a range of other stuff like that. How do you kind of manage that kind of different workflows?
Well, at first, I would record it and then try to make it go live as a stream so people could like talk about it, kind of like a premiere, but just really long. But I realized that that really didn't have what I was looking for. I wanted to like actually engage with people. So then I just kind of switched to normal live streaming. And when I did that, it was a little confusing without too much help. But after a few YouTube tutorials, I figured it out. And I mostly just find a game, grab a friend or two, and hit record. Typically, the viewers will like ask me to play a certain game and it'll go there. And that's actually how I figured out my viewers like Roblox, because all of them kept saying Roblox, which was kind of surprising because I thought it would be like a bunch of different stuff, but everyone said Roblox. So I just did that, and occasionally they're like, yo, play this. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, it's good that you're kind of following what the viewers want and all that sort of stuff. Because like I said, I was looking at your shorts and stuff like that. You seem to got some Roblox, and then your most recent and popular videos seem to be Roblox as well, which is interesting. So you said earlier when you want to record something, you normally come up with an idea. Can you walk us through your kind of process for that? So let's say someone's trying to be a let's play gamer or a compilation gamer. How can they kind of work their way through that process as well? Take us through what you do.
In my opinion, I feel like if you're going to find a video for if you're going to try to find an idea for a video, you got to really like it. You can't just do something just because other people like it. I feel like some people can, but me personally, I have to actually have joy in it. If I don't like it, it's going to be a pretty lame video. So I'll look at stuff that I like, and like for example, Minecraft. It's a pretty creative game. So I'll look at other creative games that I might enjoy, like a game called Satisfactory that I played.
Mhm.
I found that while looking for a creative game to play because I like creative games. And I think it did pretty well the first few videos. After that, it kind of started to drop off because I didn't know what I was doing. But most of them, it's suggested from viewers. That's usually where most of my ideas come from. Or I'll see another YouTuber play it and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like fun.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So, are there any specific YouTubers that you specifically look out for, or are there any of them that you're trying to strive to be like? What sort of YouTubers do you follow?
Well, most of the YouTubers that I watch, I don't really want to be like them. Their content really isn't my thing. I feel like if there's anyone that I want to be like on the same level of, that'd be a hard one. There's like so many out there. That's like, yeah, actually, I thought I could answer that question, but that's actually really hard to answer. There's like a lot of YouTubers that I like to watch, but looking for video ideas, there's not really a specific YouTuber. Honestly, it could be someone I've never watched a day in my life, and if I see it's a cool game, I'm like, I could find fun in that. I could make that pretty interesting.
Okay, is there a certain type of style of YouTuber that you like to watch then, or like that you like to like work with or kind of bounce ideas off of?
Well, I definitely like YouTubers that play like random games, like not just one game as their whole channel. Like a Minecraft YouTuber, for example, that only plays Minecraft. I don't really look there because there's not too many ideas there. It's kind of just Minecraft and different ideas in that. Or a Roblox YouTuber, even though I play Roblox, it's kind of pointless to look there unless I'm looking for a specific game. And typically, if there's a hot game out there, a viewer's going to say it anyways. So I usually look for people that like play a bunch of different horror games or a bunch of different random nonsense.
Yeah, no, that seems to make a lot of sense. So, what sort of games do you think works? So, you said previously that you look specifically for YouTubers and all that sort of stuff, and then you've called out a couple of times that you like horror games over anything else. What makes you think that horror games are like a good category to go into? Do you think it's like a shared experience thing, or do you think it's like your reactions, or holistically, what do you think?
I feel like when it comes to horror games, out of any game, that'll give you a lot of stuff to react to. because when it comes to YouTube, you can't just be staring at the screen. You gotta give them something, and it's kind of hard to react to a game like an idle simulator when there's not much going on. Or actually, that's probably the best one, a simulator. There's not too much going on, so you can't really react to much, and it's kind of boring. But a game that's a horror game, like there's so much action going on usually if it's a good one, and you could probably get scared. And there's just a lot of stuff in it. There's a lot of emotion, and if you share the emotion with the viewers, they'll probably like it.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, I completely agree with you. I think horror is like a really easy kind of topic to get into, especially if like content warning, like looking at your Roblox doors stuff and all that sort of stuff. Like you do get like a lot more content out of it. You get some more back and forth, and like you said, you do get the reactions which people can share. One of the games I was looking at on your channel, and this is kind of like an interesting question for you. Looking at Satisfactory for context, how did you make that interesting? Because obviously you said the simulator games are quite difficult to play. How do you feel you made that interesting as a game series to play?
I'll be honest, I don't think I did make it too interesting. It
Okay.
was kind of in the beginning of the career, so I wasn't really. I was still figuring out what I was doing. So I think that's why I stopped doing it because it was at first it was pretty good. I don't know how I made it good because when I look back at it, I thought it was absolutely garbage. But whose first few videos aren't really bad? But I feel like that was just my learning phase. I don't think it was very good.
No, that's fair enough. How do you find the learning phase? Because for me personally, when we did our learning phase, it was like turning streams into like video clips and then reposting it or turning them into shorts and stuff like that. What was your learning phase?
I feel like really it was just knowing how to edit because at first I just thought you just cut out the boring parts, but it's really not that simple. Because what's boring to you might be interesting to someone else. Because for me, I recorded it, so I know what's going to happen. There's not too much that can excite me. There's not too much of the element of surprise there. So I have to think. I have to think differently. I can't watch the viewer. I can't watch the video as me. I have to watch it as a viewer.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do. So you have to learn how to edit. I really thought it'd be simple, but you got to know where to edit, what's bad, what's good, what you want to like emphasize on, what you want to dwindle down. And you can't have it just a static image. You got to like add some movement in there sometimes. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Like one of the things I struggle with on like our gaming channel is obviously editing and stuff like that. My partner does some of the editing, I do some of the editing. What do you think the best way to kind of get your head around editing is? Like for me personally, it's kind of just sitting down and just cracking out in a couple hours or breaking it down to bits. Like you sit down for 2 or 3 hours and you cut up all the shorts, and then you sit down for 2 or 3 hours, you put it all together and you play through it and you mix around the timings, and then you kind of get it ready for post and you post out to like as a video and shorts. What's your kind of process for editing, and how do you get over that like difficulty that you explained earlier of trying to get yourself to edit as well?
When it comes to when I'm editing, first I just take out the video, I look over it, how long it is, if it's good quality, and after I do that to make sure it's reasonable, I start at the beginning and I just slowly start to watch through it. It's probably not the best way. Honestly, I think the way you said is better. I might actually steal that if I'm being honest.
No, that's fine.
But at the beginning, I start off with an intro. Make it smooth. I might add a funny clip from the video to reel them in, and after that, I kind of just go through it, watch through it, see if there's anything where we're just kind of walking around. Like if it's a game where we're just attacking things, if there's no commentary and I'm just fighting the same thing over and over again, I'll probably cut that out because it seems lame. But it's nothing too complicated. I really just cut out the really, really boring parts. And then when I get to the end, I try to add a smooth outro and I'll rewatch the whole thing to see if I can make anything better. At that part, it kind of varies depending on the video. I might add like a funny transition or I might add some context in subtitles, but that part kind of varies. That's kind of the part where I have trouble.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. So how do you said that you do like a hook and an intro. How do you do your hook? Is that from like a clip later on in the video that you think is interesting people want to see, or how do you kind of manage the hook?
Well, I'll look at the whole video and I'll try to find something that like is very relevant to the game and it's where I probably am most excited and there's the most emotion there. And I find that that's probably the best. I have done it like three times, so I'm still a little rusty. I'm working on it, but I think I've gotten a pretty good handle on it. Usually, I'll turn that clip into a short too.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And like you said, it's a lot easier trying to find like the interesting bit or like the hook to kind of bring people into it. What's your view on intros? So a couple of creators at the moment are kind of moving against intros. Some of them are very like humble and really like their intros and kind of like it's a brand. So like Game Grumps is a really good example for that. What's your view on the whole intro piece?
I think that when it comes to intros, if you're already a relatively big creator, your viewers already know you. Like they know that your video is going to be good. Like if they're there for you. But when you're starting off, I think intros are a bad idea because they just take up too much time. You want to like get them in fast because it's so easy to just scroll away. It's like very, very easy because I've seen it. And with an intro that's like, even if it's like 3 seconds, it's still enough to make somebody lose interest. It's very, very simple to just
Yeah.
walk away. So I feel like you should have something to introduce the video, but you shouldn't have like the whole animation and stuff. That's just unnecessary until you actually have a fan base.
No, I completely agree with you. I think, yeah, it's good to kind of have like that outro piece that kind of links you onto the next video and all that sort of stuff. But you're absolutely right. I think intros have kind of gone past its time. There was an early time on YouTube where I think they did really well and kind of made everything work as they did. But like you said, at this point, everyone who does have an intro is a lot bigger and everyone's got an established fan base. So yeah, you're completely right. How do you deal with procrastination and the difficulty of being a variety streamer?
Sorry, one more time.
Sorry. How do you deal with procrastination and the difficulty of being like a variety content creator?
I'm not sure I deal with it in the first place, to be honest.
Okay.
I'll be completely honest. With the variety kind of thing, it's not too hard to deal with. It's kind of like fixing like a clock or something. You just gotta fiddle with it until you get the time right. So the procrastination, I try to just, push through it. I'd be like, okay, let's be real. You're gonna do it eventually. Let's just get it over with. But with the variety, I wouldn't say it's hard. It's just you got to know what you're doing. You can't just go in it randomly. That's why I wasn't doing too great in the beginning. You got to have some idea of what you're doing.
Do you
You
find it
gotta
difficult though
know
to
what they
try and
like.
like pick new games each time, or do you kind of go off what your audience is recommending for you to play next?
Oh, it's really hard to find new games because most of my viewers, as I said, like Roblox, and when they like Roblox, they're gonna go after like the popular games. I could name a few, but I don't know too much about them, so it's probably kind of pointless. But they always go after those hit games that are like on the top of the list. But I'm not the biggest fan of those games because I've seen so much about them. There's nothing to interest me. I already know what's gonna happen, so I don't really mess with those. So it's kind of hard to find popular games or good games. I kind of go for them hidden gems. Those seem to be the best ones, but then again, they're hidden. So
So how do you kind of find those hidden gems when you go looking for them? Do you try and find like Steam? Do you watch other people, or what's your kind of process for finding those hidden gems?
usually I just stumble upon them, but occasionally I will look through YouTube and try to find something. I might scroll through Steam and see if there's anything that looks like it had a good concept. I try not to go off of looks, don't judge a book by its cover. And I look at the bare concept and I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. Like if it's really creative, I feel like that's gonna end well. Now if it's bad, then of course I'm just gonna leave it alone. But occasionally it sticks.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. So, on top of being a variety streamer and trying to find those hidden gems and trying to get the new bit before you kind of hit the curve or hit the meta and all that sort of stuff, as it were, how do you deal with costs? Because obviously, being a variety recording YouTuber and content creator is very difficult because you have to buy lots of games. You got to try and find deals for lots of games. How do you kind of manage that sort of stuff with your channel?
You know, I will say that part is kind of annoying because a lot of the good games do cost money. So I try to find good moments. Like, for example, Satisfactory, going back to that as an example. When I found that game in its early access, I got it like, I think last year. And I found like a moment where it was like on sale for like 50% off. And I was like, yeah, that's the best moment I'm gonna get it. And I just, I got it then. Try to find the best moment possible. Sometimes I have to wait a little bit, but it's typically worth it.
Okay, and then when you do find the game and stuff like that, do you play it yourself or do you play it with friends?
It depends on the game. Like,
Okay.
for example, content warning is much better with friends, of course. I'm not going to solo that. Most games end up being better on solo because it's just the multiplayer is just too complicated for most of my friends.
Yeah.
But when it comes to most of my games, they're just better with multiplayer. It's just overall better.
Okay. How do you try and so this is where I'm going to ask a couple of fun questions here. So when you kind of hit the multiplayer games and all that sort of stuff, how do you obviously you paid for the game yourself, you like this is going to be a good game, I'm going to record it. How do you A convince your friends or B get that recording to happen if it's a multiplayer game?
Well, firstly, it depends on the game. Some of them, my friends already have an interest in. Some of them, they're like, yeah, I do not want to touch that. So occasionally I have to do a little bit of convincing. I wouldn't say manipulation. I was about to say that, but that's definitely not a good
No,
word to
you're all
use.
good.
I gotta make it sound enticing because I'm not gonna choose a game they won't like because they're just gonna be bored the whole time. But occasionally, it's a game that they would see and they would judge it by its cover and they'd be like, I don't want to play that. So I gotta like explain the concept first and then show them how it looks. And when it comes to getting the recording to happen, it kind of just does, to be honest. I'll just like see all my friends in one place and I'm like, oh yeah, let's play.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Have you ever had a game where you've been really interested, passionate about it, and your friends haven't?
Oh, plenty of times. Most of them I don't think I recorded. Like, there's this one game called Astroneer. It
Yep.
was about space, and it was kind of sciencey, and I'm kind of just a nerd in my friend group, so they were just not interested at all. It was a little upsetting, but it's all right. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. And have you ever thought about going to like other communities, like trying to go on the Astroneer community or going on the like small YouTubers community to kind of pick up friends to kind of record that stuff with, or not really?
I actually have been on like a solid three, not too many, because I try to be careful where I go. I don't want to wind up in a place where it's a bunch of people that I do not want to be around. Try not to
Yeah.
wind around the end up with the wrong crowd. So I'm a little careful about it. But there's like three communities I'm in where there's a few people that were like, "Yo, that sounds like a fun game to play," and I'm like, "Okay, we could do that."
Yeah. And how do you find working with different groups of people? Because for me personally, I find it very like it's a taste thing. Like some people you'll get on with really well playing games, you can bounce off each other easily. Some people seem to take games very seriously. Some people are very nonchalant. How do you kind of juggle that as a creator to make sure that your wants are being covered off as well?
Well, I'll be honest. As a creator, there's not much you can do. But as a person alone, it's kind of hard, but it's possible. You gotta know them. Like I have one friend that's relatively nonchalant about games. Like they kind of just like they could die in a game where we need them desperately, and they just don't really care. So it's kind of hard to make them care. But usually I go with like a tactic that kind of revolves around them taking a job that isn't as important so that if they really don't care it doesn't matter but they can still be helpful.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so you try and not sideline them, but you try and make sure that if it's like a key role in the game, that you're kind of covering it off with a couple of people they get on well with, versus if someone's not a big fan and quite openly not interested in the game, you try and keep them away from it to make sure that you can get the recording you want, right?
Yeah, kind of just try to help people out.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And then for your recording and stuff like that, how do you manage that? What's your setup like? Do you have like a mic? Do you have a computer? What sort of software and hardware do you use?
Well, I don't have the box for my headphones, which said what they were, so I don't even know where I got these headphones to be honest, but they're pretty good. They got surround sound, good audio. I have a little feature where I could hear myself, so I know like my audio didn't cut out. There's a mic on the side, which I'm actually using right now. It'd be better if I had my filters on, but I do not. I have a camera that I don't use too often. I think I used it to try VTubing one time, but that was absolutely terrible. It went so bad. I have a second mic that I don't use often, but it's much, much better. My only problem is it like captures everything in the room. You cannot cut out background sound, but it's pretty nice.
Okay.
And then for recording, I use OBS because it's always got my back. And if it doesn't have my back, it's kind of just being mean to me.
No, that's fair enough. And then what do you use for editing software and stuff like that?
Well, I've had like three different ones. Like when I was first starting off, my computer had something called Clipchamp. It was
Okay.
so bad. Like I would try to extract a video and my whole computer would freeze. It was terrible. I don't know how people use it, but whatever. Now I use CapCut. It's much better. I feel like there's better softwares out there, but from what I've seen, I find that CapCut just works the best. It's relatively simple. The layout, not the layout, the UI is simple, easy on my eyes. It just works.
No, I've it took a while to kind of find that sort of stuff, and now I've kind of managed it. It's quite good. I recommend DaVinci if you've got the opportunity to use it. It's free, and it's like professional. It's like semi-professional, professional. It's like it's got a high learning curve, but you can do a lot with it.
Definitely check it out. I'll take any advice I can get.
No, that's fair enough. And then is there any games that you're wanting to play at the moment that you think will do well, or is there anything that you kind of got your eye on for the time being?
There actually is a few. I've actually, hold on, I got a whole list of them. Let me
Yeah, go
find it
for it.
real quick. Actually, it's probably
Just give us like a
well.
top three of what you think will be good.
All right. Updating. See, Steam always wants to update when I need it most. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine. It's so funny. Crashed before I opened it. Okay, I'm grabbing my phone out now.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
And there it is. All right. Now, for top one, I would definitely say the game called A Class of '09. I want to play that so bad, but I've just heard that it's like really, really inappropriate. So I know I have to like edit so hard. So I'm very nervous. I haven't seen anyone play it, but I want to for sure. Just a little scared. For two, I would probably go with, okay, not that one. I would definitely go with TerraTech Worlds. It seems very crisp, very nice. I played TerraTech alone, but TerraTech Worlds just seems better. I'm assuming it's a V2, so I have high hopes for it.
Okay.
And with three, I would go Gatekeeper. I think I played a version of it, but it wasn't very good. But it seemed like a funny game because I was doing so bad.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Gatekeeper kind of reminds me of Risk of Rain 2. I don't know if you've played that before, but yeah.
I don't think I have heard of that.
Ah, okay, no, cool. And then just a couple last questions for you. If you were to restart your channel tomorrow, or you were to give advice to a brand new person wanting to get into YouTube, what advice would you give them?
Definitely say don't stress about it because at first, unless your personality is like once in a generation, it's going to be a little rough in the beginning. So you don't want to just get discouraged by like low view counts or something. For most people, they kind of hit that gold mine at some point in their life. Some people don't because they quit too early. So I definitely would say don't quit. But once you hit that, I would definitely say don't sit there and just pick at it. You don't want to like abuse that area because eventually it's going to run dry and you're going to have nothing. So if you do end up hitting that spike, that legendary moment for you, I would definitely say to like stick with the layout because that's probably what you should go with. Like if it's like a specific layout you use with like intro, funny parts, clips, or whatever, I would definitely stick with that. When it comes to intros, like I said, might not want to use them so you're big. When it comes to attracting viewers, I feel like every different niche has their own ways. When it comes to gaming, I feel like it's all about peak moments. If you like have a really good clutch, I don't know. But everything else kind of just depends on what you do.
Yeah, it depends what you're doing. It's like a channel and all that sort of stuff. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
How much time would you advise a new YouTuber put into their channel a week or a month?
A week. Well, of course, it depends on how many videos you upload a week. But if you were to upload like one video a week, for example, I would say on that video, editing, if it's like an hour-long recording, I would at least spend like, or actually, instead of going off of that, however long the video is, I would spend at least twice as long as the video working on it. That seems like a good starting point.
Okay, no, so if the video is an hour, you spend 2 hours. If the video is 20 minutes, you spend about 40 minutes trying to work your way through it.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair. And then what do you think the hardest bit of being a content creator is?
I feel like the hardest part is to keep the love in it, keep the commitment. Every now and then you kind of get discouraged and it's a little rough. Like I said, procrastination is also another thing because you just kind of feel like you just don't want to do it. But if you don't do it, you can never really grow. Sometimes you might make a video where you're like, oh, that'll do great. Like I've had a few of those and they just do terrible. And it can kind of hurt, but you kind of just got to push through it. And if you don't, you kind of just end up falling off. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And then obviously you've joined the Discord channel and stuff like that. What could we do as a community to help you grow, or what can we do to help you with your channel?
Honestly, when it comes to helping me with YouTube, when it comes to YouTube at all, I feel like all I need to know is the right programs to use and the right strategies. I feel like I can record and edit properly as long as I know what I'm doing.
Okay, so if we as a channel or as a community create some tutorials to basically go through some really simple stuff like how to get your audio set up, how to get your video set up, how to record and move it across into an editing software and stuff like that, you'd find that super helpful.
Yeah, like the editing software you recommended.
Yeah, sure.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
No, that's fine. Perfect. That is it, my guy. Is there anything you want to shout out or anything you want to like kind of self-promote for? Do you have a new video coming up that you want to tell us about or anything like that? Or
I mean, a few, but nothing I would really promote. Nothing that's like super big. Honestly, if anyone checks out the channel, I'm happy.
okay, so where's best to check you out? Just YouTube, or is there any other social media platforms we should be looking out for you on?
I have a TikTok, but I wouldn't go there because that place is like a wasteland. It's just bad. I would just recommend YouTube. That's where everything is going.
Okay,
And
perfect.
I mean, I have a Discord channel too. If anyone wants to join.
Perfect. No, what I'll do is I'll whack your Discord in, I'll whack your YouTube channel, and then you can go from there. Yeah. Thank you very much for
Thank you
joining us,
very
mate.
much.
And yeah, we'll see you next time.